Ladies and gentlemen, this is the show of the week. This is the show all about women's wrestling, Wrestlution, women's Wrestlution. And we're here to talk about some special things. We got a hell of a show for you tonight. But for now, if you're looking to talk about John Cena, Roman Reigns, or Hulk Hogan, this is not the show. This is about the women, and only the women. And I am your host, the ruler of all hosts, Donovan Cartwright, joined alongside by the Man Gang founder himself, the biggest fan of Straight Fire, James, and we have a special guest host. He is the historian, Tori. How are y'all doing tonight?
What's up, Donovan? What's up, Tori? Well, first of all, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Diane Clemens, Tori's aunt. So let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. And it's an honor for me to be on your show. And honestly, guys, my aunt, military veteran, 10 years in the Air Force, wrestling fan. She was a wonderful woman. She will be missed. And I appreciate the thoughts and prayers to both of you guys. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And we have one more moment of silence. Terry Funk's WWE Hall of Famer. His wife passed away yesterday.
Appreciate that, man.
So,
and it's an honor for me to be on your show.
So let's all take a moment of silence for Vicky Funk. Let's do that now. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
let me say this before we start the show. I would like to say this on behalf of the families of Terry Funk. From all three of us, we will send our heartfelt condolences to you and your family. I know this is tough for you. Anytime you need us, we're right here.
Good. Put it better than myself.
Anytime you need us,
Sorry.
we're right here.
You got any thoughts to add to that, Donovan?
Nothing to add to it, man. I am very glad to be here, though.
Okay, so what we're going to start the show out with. Now I want to talk about Michelle McCool. Now Michelle McCool, she.
Jamie said prayers to you, Tori. I wanted to let him know that.
Thank you, Jamie. Sorry about that, Jamie. But I was just telling Jamie, thank you. Appreciate
It's okay.
that, bro.
It's okay. Now, Michelle McCool sent out a statement today, actually. And I want to know you guys' thoughts about equal pay for the women. The top women such as Becky, Charlotte, because them the two is the top females on the Raw and SmackDown roster. So I want to know you guys' opinion for them getting equal pay. I kind of agree with Michelle 100%. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Honestly, for me personally, all the women of WWE deserve equal pay as men because they work equally or probably even 10 times harder than the men, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I've seen a lot of women wrestlers over the years that work 10 times harder than the men in professional wrestling. So I think it's well overdue that they get equal pay.
Now,
Your turn, Donovan.
Go ahead, Donovan. Your turn.
I actually feel like that the women, and this is sparked because AEW, one of their first announcements was equal pay for men and women. And I feel like that's where a lot of this is coming from, and it is true, WWE needs to do it. Or if AEW gets to be a big thing, a lot of women might be looking over there like, hey, why would we work here we can make more money there and actually get to demonstrate our talents.
I agree. Now I want to say something about that. Now, not only Charlotte and Becky. Now, what do you guys think about the lower card? Like such as Carmella, Mandy, Sonya Deville. They the lower cards. I don't think they should get. I don't know. I'm kind of.
I'm gonna chime in real quick, bro. I'm gonna chime in real quick. I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, you talk about lower cards like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and then don't forget about Dana Brooks. She's also in that lower card as well. And I remember Dana Brooks.
Don't worry, Tori. We're not ignoring you, man. I'll get to that comment.
Yeah. I'm just saying, all these women that you just talked about. I think all women should have equal pay because, again, like I said earlier, they work twice, maybe 3 or 4 times as hard as men. Would you agree or disagree with that, you guys?
I would say I kind of agree, but again, I disagree. But hear me out. Hear me out.
All right, I'm listening.
Now, okay, I say it should go by how many titles they won. Now, if they haven't had a title before, they shouldn't get equal pay. They should get regular pay. Let's see, like Carmella, she had a title. I think it should, maybe a 10% increase or 15% increase. But she's, like that. That's the way I feel. It should be. But as far as Charlotte and Becky, it should be equal to Roman Reigns and and so forth.
Jamie says an incentive program for women, like T-shirt sales and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I want to comment. I want to answer Jamie's comment about the incentive about the T-shirts. Now, Becky, she's the number one merch seller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and out of all of them, men and women. So I'm proud of Becky for that.
I mean, the thing about it is, you're right. Becky Lynch, the man merchandise, ever since she became the man, her merchandise has even eclipsed Roman Reigns and even AJ Styles and other people. I mean, people have been, and don't forget, Kofi Kingston is number 2, right behind her. So it's Becky Lynch number 1, Kofi Kingston number 2 with this whole Kofi Mania thing. And then you got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and then AJ Styles and others right behind them 2. So yeah, you're right. Becky Lynch merchandise has been on fire. Or should I say, in your words, straight fire.
Yeah.
If you would. So you damn right. Like you said, she deserved equal pay, just like Charlotte and other former champions, like you mentioned, Carmella and Naomi, and then don't forget about Alexa Bliss and others. Yeah, they deserve equal pay. At least a little bit equal on their check. And that's including Oscar, who just lost the title not that long ago.
Okay, hang on. Okay, yeah. Tori James is trying to say something.
Sorry. No, what I was going to say, Tori, while we're on the subject of Becky, now she also, okay, here's the thing. I told you before we went on the air. Now, okay, Ronda is coming out with Joan Jett, right?
Joan Jett, legend in the 80s music. Yeah, I remember her from the 80s.
Okay, follow me now. So, follow along. Now, Charlotte, she's going to have a special entrance. Now, what about Becky? Now, she deserves something, I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about that?
Be honest, she's
Well,
coming out with that retired MMA fighter from Ireland, which I don't agree with because I feel like that's just why. I mean, I get Ronda, former MMA fighter, but you know why.
I can tell you why. It's because rumor has it. Now I read Connor's tweet. Now he's going to be in Becky's corner at WrestleMania. So basically, he's going to help Becky win the title.
We will be talking about that, Jamie.
I got a question. So you saying that Conor McGregor, the retired MMA fighter, is going to the WWE to be in the corner of Becky Lynch?
Yes, yes.
Okay, my question is, will WWE sign Conor McGregor? It was just a chime in. Remember, you brought it up, so I'm just asking that question.
Well, it's a possibility. You know, it's a possibility.
Jamie said that he has those sexual assault allegations against him, though.
Oh, man.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not going there, but I'm on the subject of Becky Lynch. Having Conor McGregor in a corner, that's a big thing because lately you've seen a lot of MMA fighters in the WWE. We got Ken Shamrock was there, then the B. Salmon was there. Now we got Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar, and don't forget even Bobby Lashley, MMA fighter, Oscar MMA fighter, Nakamura MMA fighter. I can name a bunch of guys in the WWE right now that have been in MMA.
I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it too, Jamie.
So I want to know. Okay, so I want to know. Now I know everybody's seen it. Now I want to get me some pair of those. Those shoes Becky got. Those Air Jordans. She just got some new custom made shoes. Tennis shoes. Got the man on. I mean, they sweet. I like them. I got to get me a pair. Air Jordans too.
Man, what? They doing it big for Becky, huh? With them Jordans, I see.
And Jamie says that Ric Flair is going to be in Charlotte's corner, and Travis Brown will be in Ronda's corner.
I thought Travis. Oh, that's right. He's banned for Raw, but not on the.
That's why Conor is coming out with Becky. That's why. That's exactly why. But anyway,
so Travis Brown's gonna be in Ronda's corner.
Yep.
Hey, James. Jamie wants to know if you can do the Irish dance that Becky used to do in NXT.
Tell Jamie I said go. Never mind. I'm not gonna say on the air, but yeah, go. But
me and Jamie gonna have to have a talk about that one. I got you on that one, bro.
Okay,
James can't do it, but he said Nighthawk can do it.
Okay, so guys, moving on. So I want to talk next up on the order of business. All right. I want to talk about the queen of hardcore, Francine. Now, Francine debuted 1994. She was trained by J.T. Smith in the House of Hardcore. Now, she's 5'7", 126 pounds. She had 2 kids. I mean, and she wrestled in classic wrestling. So what do you guys like? Tell me what you guys like about Francine. I mean, Francine is the one true pioneer of the women's division, right? In my opinion. I want to know what everybody thinks of her. I mean, I know she's controversial. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, just the way I feel, that's why I want to bring her up.
My opinion?
both of y'all opinions.
I have to
I'm listening.
I have to disagree. I think Wendy Richter and the Glamour Girls were the pioneers.
Well,
I have to echo. My opinion is this: when it comes to ECW, Woman and Sherry Martel was a pioneer. Francine just came in later.
Okay, so
That's just
Tori,
my opinion.
so Tori, you saying Francine is not better than Wendy? I'm not saying Wendy Richter is bad, but you saying would you consider Francine and Wendy kind of equal?
Oh no! Look, James. I respect you, brother. I respect you a lot, and you know your shit. You know your wrestling like I do. We both old school. Now, come on.
Yeah, she is
Think
beautiful.
about
Though.
this. I want you to think about this. I'm not gonna take long because I know this is your show.
No, go ahead.
If they were in their prime, do you actually think Francine have a chance against Randy Richter? Yes or no?
Well, I can't really say. But I would have to say no.
Let me be honest.
There you go. Now you see where I'm coming from. Now you see where I'm coming from. I don't think that. Look, Francine, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. She had a great moment in ECW.
But
She had a very great moment in ECW during ECW during the mid-90s. Okay, she was managing the team known as the Pitbull. She also managed Shane Douglas to an ECW title run. Okay, I'll give her credit.
Don't forget Sandman.
I'll give her credit for that, and plus the fact that she managed Just Incredible as well. I'll give her credit for that as well. But wrestling wise, talking about stepping foot inside that ring against someone the caliber of a Wendy Richter, or even hell, I'll give you another one. She don't even have a chance against sensational Sherry Martel.
That's not fair.
That's
not fair.
I'm just gonna say no. She has no chance against Wendy Richter or Sherry Martel or any of them. So I'm just gonna go there.
That really came out of your mouth. Okay, good job. Good talk, bro.
That's not fair. That's not fair. You're talking about Sherry Martel. That woman could actually wrestle.
Well, I can't. Okay, so all right, now.
Don't get me wrong. I respect what Francine has done in ECW. Don't get me wrong, but you put her in the ring against a Randy Richter, or even, like I said, sensational Sherry. She has no damn chance in hell.
But James, on the other hand, you're also forgetting that's Sherry and Nancy and Wendy Richter were all from the Moolah school, the badass school. Francine,
right.
You look at what she had going up against her during that time. You had, outside of Medusa, let's look at WWE. You had Sunny, you had Deborah, you had Sable, you had China, and look. I don't want to hear no flack about China, but you're talking about China. Overall, if you put China on a pedestal of if you put China on a pedestal of outside of what she did, she was a spectacle. She wasn't a great wrestler. Francine at that time, you had like the Sables, the Chinas. Francine was much better and edgier than any of them, and she was a pioneer for American hardcore women's wrestling. You had Lita. Yeah, in that same group, you had Lita, you had Sherry Martel. You look at WCW, they had Alundra Blaze or Medusa. They had Akira Hokuto. They had Aja Kong. I mean, how is any of that a fair like comparison? I mean, but we're talking American. Akira Hokuto wasn't fighting in barbed wire rings with fucking electrified barbed wire and piranha tanks and landmines and exploding rings and death matches. That was in Japan. In America, Francine was part of the revolution that Lita and Jazz and Sherry all went down at some point.
And even one.
Yeah, got a point there.
And I'm not look, James. It's not you look at where Francine was at. She came in later, and look what she had around her. She had Lita, she had Jazz, she had Sherry Martel.
Dawn Marie.
You're not helping.
I'm just saying, Dawn Marie. I'm just going down. I'm just saying.
Dawn Marie.
I like Dawn Marie. Dawn Marie, I think she was legit. She was literally legit.
She was a good manager. She was a good manager.
Also, that Beulah McGillicuddy was there too, bro. The wife of Tommy Dreamer.
Okay, so if I was to put Dawn Marie up against Francine, I would pick Dawn Marie every single time.
I don't think so.
I'm
sorry. This is where Francine may have a chance.
I'm sorry, James. That's a bad comparison. But you look at the women that she was surrounded by. Lita became a WWE Hall of Famer. Jazz, who is the current and longest reigning NWA Women's Champion in history. You look at Sherry Martel, another WWE Hall of Famer. They all came through those doors, but guess who was in the middle of all? Francine wasn't the beginning, and she wasn't the end. She was the middle point. She was the one that elevated the women's side of things and made them stand up.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make. About Francine, by her being in the middle part, she was the one that helped elevate the women's evolution.
She was pretty much in the 1998 in the middle of the Attitude Era. So people tend to forget about her because you had Chyna, Sable, Akira Hokuto, Alundra Blaze. You had Lita, you had Jazz.
Kimberly.
Exactly. You had all of these women, all of these great women wrestlers. Well, some were great. I mean, I'm not going to bash Sable because Sable was a decent wrestler. She was a lot better than a lot of what they had back then. Chyna.
Okay.
Chyna was later. She was going at it with men. You had Sable who was who was starting WWF's run, and in ECW you had Dawn Marie and Lita and Jazz and all of these women that were just legit badasses. And I'm not saying Francine was bad. I'm not saying she was great. She was decent. And she was in an era in between bad, women being managers or eye candy, or badass women that were going to kill you if you looked at them the wrong way. And that's where Francine always got lost in the shuffle. But when you look at where she came from, she was a pioneer for Jazz and Dawn Marie and and Lita and all these other great women, badass women that came after in the late Attitude Era.
This is not well, yeah, man. I mean, and don't.
Well, hang on. James wants to say something, Tori. James wants to say something.
Go ahead,
no, I'm gonna let Tori finish his comment. Then
I'm sorry about it. I ain't mean to interrupt y'all. I was just saying you failed to mention that Beulah McGillicuddy was also during that time, bro.
No, I acknowledge that, but Beulah wasn't really a big standout. Francine had a lot more standing in that ring than Beulah did.
Yeah, she did. I'll give you that.
Is she still living at all? Beulah?
Yeah, she's her and Tommy Dreamer are married with kids right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, she was just at like a month and a half ago at a House of Hardcore event. She was a special guest referee.
Wow. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I did not know this. I appreciate it. But
Thank you for letting us know she got her start on Stampede on CW, Jamie.
Okay. I'm gonna catch a lot of heat. What I'm about to say. I told you this is a confident. Help me say this. You know.
James. Quick thing before we move on. Jamie said that Beulah and Dreamer's kids were in The Sopranos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, hell, I need to go back and look at that. But this is a
controversial.
Yeah,
controversy. Yeah, I got you, bro.
So I just read on Ringside Sports. Okay, Charlotte Flair. Now WWE is thinking about having Charlotte Flair go up against whoever the Intercontinental Champion is and go win the freaking title. I mean, really? Come on. You guys tell. I want to know what y'all think about that crap.
What was that story again?
They're basically saying Charlotte's going to go up against the IC champion and win it, like China did back in 2000.
Charlotte has no chance. I'm sorry.
No, they're thinking about having her win it. It's what he's saying. I'll be honest, James. I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Because it just as much as I can't stand that shoehorn. I mean, if that happens, then I don't know what to think.
Jamie said kayfabe news. Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
Yep, that sound like something Dave Meltzer would come up with.
Okay, so I want to know what you guys think. Did you guys happen to watch the interview on ESPN with Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Okay, the nameplates where they had Ronda Rousey, first ever UFC bantamweight champion, Hall of Famer. Then they had Becky, the 2019 Royal Rumble winner, and on Charlotte's nameplate it had daughter of Ric Flair. Charlotte had the nerve to call out ESPN, said that was disrespectful. No, she's not even supposed to be in that damn match.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Yet and still, she's blaming ESPN for doing their damn job.
Actually, James, I need to correct you to be absolutely right here. Charlotte was supposed to be in this match originally, but Nia Jax fucked that up, which is probably a blessing in disguise. But she doesn't deserve to be in this match. She hasn't. All she's done is just being given obviously written wins because her win rate is Jesus crap. She ain't got nothing. What'd she do? Oh, she beat Asuka on SmackDown with a title shot that she didn't earn, didn't deserve, and had no reason to be in.
All they gave it because her damn last name.
It ain't even because of her last name. It was just because, hey, we're going to make this decision to merge the titles. Let's shit on Asuka for the second time with the same person and take this belt off of her because we don't know what to do with it.
So, what do you think, Tori?
I got two things I want to say.
Jamie said credit to Nia Jax for Becky Lynch's opportunity at a career boom.
Yeah.
I give her that. But here's my take. Charlotte Flair should be grateful that ESPN says that she's the daughter of a legend like Ric Flair, a guy that I think all three of us grew up watching. I'm pretty sure, especially me and you, James.
Woo!
We grew up watching Nature Boy. We know how great of a guy Ric Flair was in and outside the ring. Charlotte should be grateful. Why is she going after ESPN? Because she's petty. Petty.
Jamie said he doesn't even think that Charlotte would wrestle if it wasn't for Reed's death. And you're right.
Yep.
David
I
would have
definitely
never had
agree
that sex change operation if it wasn't for Reed.
I agree with exactly what Jamie's saying. What Jamie over there saying. Because it's true. Now, don't get it twisted, folks. Don't get it twisted, guys. I respect what she does in that ring. Don't get me wrong. I respect what Charlotte Flair does in that ring. But I don't like her I just don't like her chauvinist attitude.
I don't like the
chauvinist attitude. You know what I mean by chauvinist attitude? Arrogant.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that she's the female John Cena.
No, I have to correct you on that. It's Roman Reigns.
Same thing. She's the female Hulk Hogan.
I mean, they basically you know what? I'm gonna come out and say it. They're giving Charlotte Flair the Hulk Hogan treatment. Because how many times have you seen over the years in the WWF Hogan getting title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity over the years, Jamie? Over the years, James.
Yeah, well,
how many times? And Hogan was one of the worst. And the thing about it is,
and Jamie said that she has some terrible nude leaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Nobody
Jamie,
wants.
let me ask you this question.
Jamie, was that before or after the penis?
Oh boy. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you why I say that Charlotte Flair is giving the Hulk Hogan treatment. Because Hogan always, every time you look around, Hogan getting title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity from other guys during that time. How often do we see Junkyard Dog get a title opportunity? How often do we see other guys like Tito Santana get a championship opportunity? Or hell, even Jake the Snake Roberts. How often do they get our title opportunity?
Must have been after the operation then. You don't.
I can't fault you for that, for saying that, because I agree with you 100%. But I still say Charlotte is. Vince, he needs just to leave. Period.
I'm gonna say one thing.
A lot of people thought he was going to leave after XFL, but Vince has expressed interest in remaining with the company during that time.
Well, let me say one more thing. Seriously. Charlotte Flair is giving the Hulk Hogan treatment. Look. Right now, she's the current SmackDown Women's Champion by beating Asuka.
You're right, Jamie. You're absolutely right. Nobody is happy with that. Nobody.
Think about it. Asuka, who has busted her ass in years in Japan, comes straight from Japan to NXT, had the longest reigning NXT championship, period.
2 years.
She beat Goldberg's kayfabe record.
Yeah, she just gets shitted on, man. She just keeps getting shitted on ever since she came on the main roster. And now look what they're doing to her.
No offense.
That's what pissed me off.
No offense, but look who she beat for the title. Charlotte. Becky.
Yeah.
And then she beat Mandy. And she's beaten everybody. She got all the big names right out of the gate.
And you guys want to know, I'm sorry, Donovan, but you guys want what I think what should have happened?
You should tell us what should have happened.
Well, for Asuka, she could have fought Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville the girls has good talent. I have no idea why they didn't go with that.
Because Vince got one of his wild hairs.
I mean, I'm dumbfounded. I'm freaking. I'm tired of talking about Charlotte. I'm moving on.
I agree. You know what, James? You said you dumbfounded by this whole thing.
Hang on. Jamie had something, and I agree with this. Jamie says when she survived 7.5 minutes of a founder of MMA itself, Minoru Suzuki, beating that ass, how you're just looking like dumbfounded. How is this even deserved or believable? This woman got her ass beat down for 7.5 minutes, James, and I shit you not. With Minoru Suzuki just beating the shit out of her, knocking his female partner down, knocking her male partner down, and still kicking her ass. And she kept getting right back up to go.
Hey, Donovan, I'm sorry, kind of tone the swearing down, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, James. It's just I don't understand. This is one of those. Hey, this woman fought a legend, like Ken Shamrock level legend of MMA, for 7.5 minutes, getting beaten down, while his partner and her partner tried to come help her, and they did nothing, and she kept getting up and fighting him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so I hope you don't get upset by me saying that. I just want this. You know what I'm talking about? Let's kind of keep the swear words to a minimum.
And thank you, Ralph.
My fault. I was trying my best not to curse so much.
Well, this is one of those subjects that I'm still heated over. So yeah, and I have no filters. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak from the heart, not from the mind.
Well, you're supposed to. I want you to. So but anyway, let's move on from Charlotte. So next up on the order of business, I want to talk about the women's tag titles. Now, Sasha and Bailey is my favorites. And I
I'm
want to
sorry,
talk about Beth
about that, Jamie.
I know James.
It's James' show, man. I'm gonna be respectful, Ralph.
What you say, Dominic? I didn't understand.
Ralph said, and cuss all you want. I said, nah, I'm gonna be respectful. It's your show.
I was just teasing around. I'm just trying to be professional. That's all.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not throwing that. Hey, I run Wrestlution shit around like Chris. And I just let people say what they want. This is all like you speak from the heart. James, you tell people that that's their own effing opinion. Keep it to their damn self all the time.
Yeah.
I don't believe in filtering anybody. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I apologize.
I'm still here, guys. I'm just pissed off.
You say whatever you want. You put it however you want. But, the Asuka situation, I'm not Asuka's biggest fan. She's not my favorite Japanese woman wrestler. But I know her history, and I know that was just completely unbelievable. Asuka would murder this woman in a real fight.
But what I'm saying about the women's tag titles and Beth Phoenix, what are your thoughts on Beth Phoenix coming out of retirement? And do you think she will stay in retirement?
To be honest, Beth Phoenix is one of those that, I really don't have a problem with. Like, she's teaming with Natalya, and I don't have a problem with it. I actually enjoy those two together.
Well, yeah, so do I. But, I want to go back.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Hang on, Tori, hang on.
Beth Phoenix is still young.
Tori, hang on.
Phoenix is still young, though. She what? In her late 30s? So she's still young enough to be in there.
I want to go back to early in the show. Y'all mentioned Dana Brooke. I kind of feel sorry for Dana, actually. Dana Brooke got a lot of. I think he should be you know, pushed a little bit, and see.
I agree.
You know, um, that's just the way I feel. What about you, Donovan? Um, about Dana Brooke?
Yeah, I know, Ralph. I agree with that. That loss to Mandy Rose on TV was bad too, but I get why they have to do it. My thoughts are Dana Brooke was brought in too early. Remember, she was only brought in because the original plans were scrapped due to injury with Charlotte, so they brought Dana Brooke up too early.
But do you think she should at least they should do a little bit more with her? Or,
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think they're ever going to look at her ceiling as beyond a jobber.
Really?
They called her up as Charlotte's henchwoman, and that's all that they've ever treated her as. Is just somebody else's second wheel. And I'm not bashing her. I really enjoyed her work with Titus Worldwide. I liked Titus Worldwide. I was one of the few people that did enjoy that.
Well, I enjoyed it too, but it just I don't like the way they treat Dana Brooke. I mean, it's sad.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I know. I mean, she was called up too early. That's like Apollo Crews. They were called up too early due to circumstance, and because of that, they're never going to get a fair shake.
I'm gonna say one thing about this whole thing. I mean, do I respect Dana Brooke? Absolutely, I do. That woman said it on her. I mean, she said it that she has passion for WWE. But I agree with Donovan's point. The way WWE's treating her, it's not good at all, man.
I agree, Jamie. They and Ralph. I know you both will agree. Ralph said they need a women's mid card title, and I think that they should. But they're not going to do it.
I agree with that. Yep, I agree with
that. The women tag titles are their equivalent to it. That, and they have. They don't even know what to do with most of the roster they got. Most of the women aren't getting the TV time. The women need their own show. That's just what it is. They need their own total show. Ring of Honor figured that out. Impact gives them their own pay-per-views. But
speaking of,
you know what I think?
Speaking of women of Honor,
here's the thing: if they're gonna have
hang on, Tori, hang on, Tori, hang on.
Why not have the women with their own show every week on WWE Network?
Tori, hang on. James was saying something.
Sorry, James.
It's okay. Speaking of Tori, you got me saying it. Oh God, you got me saying it now. Go ahead, Tori. I forgot what I was gonna say.
First of all, my apologies to you, James.
It's okay.
I apologize. What I was saying originally was, when you look at NXT, how successful NXT been on the WWE Network, and then obviously we got the UK division, and you know how successful, and Donovan, you and I both know how successful that show has been. And then we got 205 Live. And yet, you got all them women on the main roster and clearly on NXT and yes, NXT UK. Why not have their own show? Why not do something like, remember how they did the Mayoff Classic?
Remember how they did Evolution? Ralph said maybe they'll do it again, but they need more than that, man. It's that time where women need their own shows. Like, all these women promote...
You know what they doing? Y'all know what they're doing? See, they're trying to get... They in talks with Saudi, see if they could get the women to wrestle there. And I don't know if that's going to happen, because there's some... They're in talks with Saudi Arabia. When they get ready to go over there, see if they could get the women to wrestle.
Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. I'm gonna tell you why. Blood money.
We do not talk politics on this show. We need to we're not gonna talk about.
I'm not talking politics. I'm just saying the idea was bad, bro.
Yeah, it is bad. It's totally bad.
I'm not even talking politics. I'm just talking about the idea of doing a show over there is a bad idea. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
like I said,
I mean, did you not say that we be honest on this show? I'm just being honest.
yeah, this is a controversial show, so you know, if you want to talk about it. You know,
Could you see
What do
women?
you think, Donovan?
Could you
think
see
it's a
mid
good
card
idea or a
women?
bad idea?
Jamie's asked if y'all could see mid card women doing Playboy to get over. No,
really.
not in this era.
Well, but see, this is something. This is something coming out of the blue for me. I like to see Carmella get another shot. I mean, y'all, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for it, but that's what the show is about.
I agree with you. I like to see. You know who I like to see get a title shot? Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville.
Yeah, that hurt.
You know who I'd like to see get a push? Asuka.
Yes, she definitely needs a push. Also, Dana, and you know what? I'm gonna piggyback on what Jamie said. I think Dana Brooke definitely deserves a push.
Dana Brooke deserves so much more, man. I mean, the girl, she deserves so much more. You know, she's. How long has she been there? Actually, everybody knows.
What, 5 years, give or take? 5 years, give or take. I mean, she started out in NXT. I remember that. Heck,
Well, I just don't like the way they treat, man. You know, it's just, it's sad.
Yes.
it is. It is.
Yes.
It is.
And then Alicia Fox.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
All right, we got this. What you were saying about Alicia Fox, bro?
She walked out. Because, apparently she was drunk.
Yeah.
Apparently she was drunk. So
Yeah, she was drunk. And the thing about it is, it makes no sense for them to fire R. Anderson for that particular reason.
Well, it was Alicia Fox. It was her fault. Actually. It was her fault. She's the one that caused R. Anderson to get fired.
Yeah, she did.
To me personally, she should let her ass stay where she's at. She wanted. Now WWE wanted to offer to get her help. She don't want the help, so well.
That's on her. Not on R. Anderson. That's the thing.
I never liked her no way, so I could care less.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Alicia Fox was a great wrestler, former WWE Women's Champion, former champion in her own right. So I'm not going to take that from her. Okay, she's a former champion. But attitude-wise, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I mean, she really needs to stop. To me, she just needs to stop focusing on wrestling altogether and get some help. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to stick by it. She really needs to just stop focusing on wrestling right now and focus on getting some help for that alcohol problem that she has.
Nobody knows
that right there is affecting her mentally and physically.
Nobody knows where she's at. So, but anyways, I want to go back to the women's tag team. So far, Sasha and Bailey. Now, I've been a fan, well, especially Bailey. I've been a fan of her since day one. When she was, Bailey was in Stardom.
I remember that.
Yeah, Bailey was in Stardom years ago, and I think Becky went there right after, because I seen Becky in some when she was in Germany, wrestle in Germany. So
okay.
Because I was over in Germany right 15 years ago when Becky was still wrestling over there. I was actually over in Germany was a friend of mine. So and she was going by Rebecca Knox. I don't know.
I remember that name.
Yeah, she went. Her real name is Rebecca Quinn, but she went by Rebecca Knox. Back in when she was in Sark. Um, but
I
yeah,
remember
so,
when she started as Rebecca Knox.
yeah, I got some clips of her. She was champion over there. And while we're on the subject,
Sure.
um, now Beck, Becky she had to leave wrestling for 7 years due to a neck injury.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. So and she fell into deep depression. Um, I felt that, and that's great.
I don't know. But I can still hear you, James.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, she fell into a deep depression, and but she got back. She got back on track. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for what she overcame everything. Like she said in the interview, um, she uh, she fought to be here.
Yes, she did.
And I'm proud for what she accomplished.
I got one thing to say. I mean, yes, I'm going to admit it. I have been a big fan of Becky Lynch since her days as Rebecca Knox back in Europe when she wrestled in Europe and Japan. Yes, she did wrestle in Japan, folks.
That's something I did not know.
Yeah, she did. Look, like most Europe, like most wrestlers, you got to do a tour in Japan, and Becky Lynch, aka Rebecca Knox, did a tour in Japan around the same time when Finn Balor was in Japan at the time as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm back, guys.
so Finn Balor was the one that trained him.
I'm back, guys.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Welcome back. So
Okay,
when you talk about Rebecca Knox, Rebecca Quinn, or Becky Lynch,
Carmella and Naomi with the tag titles. That'd be interesting, but I would rather see, honestly, I would rather see Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross.
Yeah, but well, as far as Lacey Evans, I like Lacey Evans. What?
military veteran, by the way.
Yes.
Personal for me.
Look what they doing to her, man. Just look what they doing to her.
She's great on the mic, she's talented in the ring, and she's blonde. I mean, she's hit all three of Vince's main requirements.
Pretty much.
I don't know what Vince is doing. I'm lost for words. So guys, I know this is a women's show, but what I got down in my portfolio here, like I said, this is a controversial show, and I want to say something about John Cena.
Oh boy.
So here's what I'm gonna start out by saying: is John Cena is a 16-time world champion. Okay, I would like to see him win his 17th, but I also like to see him win in the Continental title. And as far as
Can't hear him. Whoever that static is, cut the static off.
Jamie, you staticking, bro. James, you there, bro?
that ain't me.
Oh.
That ain't me.
Something in your
But
back.
anyway,
Might be your air conditioner, Tori, or your ice box, whatever it was.
but anyway, he got a new ring squeeze. I mean, she looks way better than Nikki Bella. I swear to God. So what do you
Exactly.
guys thought?
Exactly, Ralph.
What do you guys thoughts on C Nation? Comments? Anybody?
I'm happy with
Do
what
I?
Cena's. I'm happy with it.
I really, honestly, I'm gonna say it like this. As much as I respect Cena, and I'm pretty sure Donovan can feel the same way about what I'm about to say, I respect John Cena. Great wrestler, great talker, great philanthropist, whatever he called himself doing. Done a lot of stuff, done a lot of things. But I don't see him. I don't think John Cena will ever go for the Intercontinental title.
Let me be honest.
Wow.
Let me be honest.
Okay.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
I think John Cena will get the 17 time, even though Ric Flair is more than a 16-time world champion. That's just their kayfabe record. He will get another WWE title run, and it'll probably only be a month or two of part-time appearances, if he even comes back. Tori, I don't disagree with you. He's a philanthropist. He's a decent actor, and he's a decent comedy actor. He's funny. He's a great mic worker. Great wrestler. I mean, if he's a great wrestler, Hulk Hogan is just the pinnacle of what wrestling should be in the ring.
I got you, but go ahead, bro.
I mean, you know, I've seen better wrestling moves out of Hornswoggle.
Oh wow.
I am not a fan. I'm a wrestling fan, James. I mean, I don't even know how you could even think John Cena's a wrestler. He's a superstar. He's a sports entertainer. He's
okay,
a great.
So I got.
Hang on.
Okay,
Hang on,
I
James.
want to say this.
Hang on. Let me finish, James. I'm almost done. He's a great hero for the kids. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be a champion for the kids. Not even like just like Hulk Hogan was built to be. The hero. Take your vitamins, say your prayers. Cena was a kids champion, and that's what it was. But all of that aside, you know, and you got Becky Lynch, who is a great in-ring worker, kills it on the mic every hot damn time you hand it to her. Kills it in the ring. You know, I mean, compared to her, how could you even think John Cena even knew what a wrestling or anything but a rest hold was? I mean, I'm not bashing him. I just don't think he's a good wrestler. He used to be when he was Prototype.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know what you think about the Fist of Doom.
I understand totally. And Ralph, I agree.
Fist of Doom. Please, oh boy. Go ahead, Donovan. You were saying something. You were asking about the Fist of Doom.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg. What do I think about the Fist of Doom, the lightning punch?
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yes.
But then again, I say the AA was trash. The only move of John Cena's that I liked, well, I liked the throwback. You know that rolling type cutter he used to do?
Yeah, but he don't do it no more.
No, well, I mean, John Cena's pushing 40, man. He ain't going to be able to get up. And you got to remember, he's also a lot bulkier than he used to be. He ain't going to be able to do that flip shit no more.
Yeah, you got a point.
He had a hard time doing that one springboard stunner he did. But, you know, I don't like the AA because it's a fireman's carry. It's not. Kurt Angle does that on his knees to take somebody down. You know, I mean, it's not a finisher. The STF, I have no problem with. I love submission holds. That lightning fist, get the fuck out.
Well, thank you for your opinion. I appreciate that. What about you, Corey?
I haven't even said anything yet, and I'm sitting here laughing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We've seen 80s wrestling.
John Cena.
Brother.
Look, don't get me wrong. After every single thing that Cena has done, do you really want to see him back in the ring doing his little Fist of Doom, doing his little AA, doing his little 5 knuckles shuffle? Really? I mean,
Thank you for joining us on Maggie.
You know, things like that get old real fast. Real fast.
Hey, James, hey, Tori, hang on. James, can you turn that TV down a bit? It's starting to overlap.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How's that?
Yeah.
That good?
Sorry about that, bro. But as I was saying, bro.
I'm sorry.
Jamie sent you a picture in private, James.
I say again?
Jamie sent you a private message of a picture of Tessa Blanchard and Tully.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Oh yeah, that's some. Tessa Blanchard, bright future for that young lady. Bright future.
Okay, so let's move on from John Cena. We're gonna talk about Viper, Viper, and then Jordan Grace. Then we go kind of wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, I was about to say we need to go ahead and get this out of here because my phone's gonna die anyway.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about Viper, then we're gonna talk about Jordan Grace, and we're gonna have our final thoughts, and we're gonna get up out of here.
All right.
Oh, before we get to Viper, there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna keep it brief. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Konami. She's a member of the Queen's Quest. She's known as the Queen's Lancer. She was the only woman ever trained personally by Asuka. Former MMA fighter when she was 16 years old, from 14 to 17. She was a champion at 16 in Japan. Former junior high softball champion, national champion in Japan. She was a member of Queen's Quest under the Queen of the Sky, Io Shirai. She's been in the ring with Toni Storm. She's been in the ring with Shayna Baszler, whether you like her or hate her. I know James's opinion. She's been in the ring with Xia Li. She's been in the ring. She's been in the ring with Kagetsu and Io Shirai herself. I mean, the girl is only 22 years old. Look at her pedigree.
Well, I would like to see her in WWE someday, but
I wouldn't. I don't want to see her get fucked over like they do Asuka and Io Shirai and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Well, yeah, never mind. It was a thought.
They do not handle Japanese wrestlers very well. That's a fact.
They count. All right. Well,
I respect your opinion, James.
Yeah, I know you do. So
But that leads us into Viper. Viper. Okay, I'm gonna say this about Viper. I'm not gonna say who she is. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Tori get his segment in. Viper was also a member of Queen's Quest. She was the Queen's Viper. Then she went off and started Queen's Quest UK with Chardonnay and, well, you all know who Bea is. Bea, right?
Yeah, I do.
She's currently with AEW. So, I turn the floor over to you, Tori.
Well, Viper, as we all know, is currently in the UK version of NXT. She's right now having a rivalry with Rhea Ripley. And as far as Konami is concerned, this young Japanese lady that you just mentioned earlier, I don't see her in the WWE right now. Maybe within the next 2 or 3 years, she might show up in the WWE, most likely on NXT. But that's about, I'm just going to go like that. And back to Viper, a.k.a. what else she call herself in NXT UK right now?
Piper Niven.
Toni Storm. She's going to be a major threat to Rhea Ripley and all these other women on that roster.
Is she a major threat?
if you want to know more about Viper or who she is,
Piper
watch
Niven.
Piper Niven. That's right, Piper Niven.
Niven, Niven.
Thank you very much, Donovan. I urge everyone, including you, James, to watch
Yep, we are, Jamie.
NXT UK every Wednesday around 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 o'clock. It all depends on the time, because, it's on UK time, so.
Oh, okay. I have to check it out. I'm on the East Coast.
So am I. I'm in Georgia, bro.
Ralph said, why I want to see a stable with Asuka, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane.
I love Kairi. I love that girl to death. I swear, I love Kairi Sane.
She is my least favorite out of Asuka, her, and Io Shirai, and that's no disrespect to her, because I do respect her.
I'm sorry, Donovan. She's better than Io Shirai.
You know what? That's your opinion, and you can keep it to your fucking self. Okay?
Oh well, I gotta give you crap, man.
Kairi Sane has tapped out to Io Shirai more times than John Cena got his ass kicked for 15 minutes to come back in 3 or less moves.
See, this is why I like to have both of you on this show, because you guys are controversial. I like that.
Oh, very controversial.
But no, I like Kairi. She's just, to me, I just feel like Io and Asuka were always more prolific, but they've been around longer. Kairi's the youngest. She's still good.
Don't get me wrong. Let me say it like this.
Hang on, Tori, hang on. Hold that, because we're going to go right back to you. Right. Let James finish what he was saying.
No, I'm just saying, I love Kairi, so, I'm not going to change my mind about the girl.
Well, I do like her. She's
my Becky of the NXT right now. So, I like Becky Lynch. Kairi Sane's my Becky.
She's your Japanese Becky. Just say it.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I like Kairi. I just like Io and Asuka more because I've seen more of their stuff.
Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing, Donovan. Here's the thing. I have watched Kairi Sane matches in Japan. But most of her matches, Kairi Sane actually had matches against Io Shirai in Japan back in the day.
And Asuka.
Everybody wondering.
Okay, Kairi Hojo versus Io Shirai. Kairi Hojo versus Kana.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kairi Sane is young. So is Io Shirai. Both of them young ladies are very young. They have history with each other. Now they're tag teamed on as the Sky Pirates.
James, you don't like Becky. You love Becky.
Yep.
And if you think about it, James, you said that you like Kairi Sane. You said that she's sort of like the Japanese version of Becky Lynch. Based on her work in the ring, and based on her work ethic, being a former NXT champion already, I have to agree with you, because she does kind of remind me of the Japanese version of Becky Lynch. But the only difference is, and yeah, she is a submission specialist too. I will give her that. She is a submission specialist.
She is a high-flying technician.
Yeah, she is. I mean, Kairi Sane is very, 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 very good in that ring. I will give her that.
James said you're damn right, Jamie.
The thing about it is, I think what Donovan was trying to say, if I can be a little controversial, what Donovan was really trying to say was he liked Kairi Sane, but Kairi Sane has been overshadowed by Asuka and Io Shirai.
That's why that was a little. I get irritated by that, because Kairi Sane, she got tremendous talent, and like you said, she's getting overshadowed by Io Shirai and Asuka.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said,
Well,
look what I'm telling you. I have absolutely no doubt. I got no doubt in Kari Sane's ability because she did won the Mae Young Classic before Tony Storm. I'm not gonna disrespect anything that this young lady has done in that ring.
but
She's great.
but to shorten
But
shorten it up just a bit, I do want to say this. James, you know why that Kari doesn't get the same level that Io and Asuka got?
Why?
Asuka's been around longer. And she's older. That's a lot of what it is. She had a lot more standing in Japan, and she's been with WWE a lot longer. Kari, she's been there. She gets featured, but they really haven't done anything with her. And Io, I mean, she's been around. Her and Kari have had great matches, and Io just has a little more standing again because she's a little bit older, and that's really what it is. And people know Io Shirai. Kari Sane just isn't being featured, so she doesn't get that. And it's not fair. I mean, I love Io Shirai. I would bias her all day long. But biased aside for a minute, professional talking, Kari has not been handled properly. And now that they're putting her with Io, it's harkening back to their days in Japan when they teamed up. People love them both because they're both they both actually bring different things to the table. They're both very lovable baby faces internationally.
Right. Actually, they are best friends. Actually,
I know. They
and they trained together.
Yeah, they did. They were in Stardom forever together, and they've had matches all over the place, all over the world. Well, mostly in Europe and Japan, but in Asia. But hey, not judging the facts. They've been up and down the road together. Asuka's been around longer. Asuka had a name before either one of them did. While Asuka was over there getting her name, Io was teaming up with her sister Mio Shirai. And Kari was coming up. And they've all had great matches together. But Asuka's going to be more prevalent because she was in WWE first. She has a bigger name in Japan than either one. Well, she has a bigger name in Japan than Kari does. Io earned her big name over there after Asuka was gone. But Kari never really got that level. It wasn't because she couldn't, it was just because she went to WWE before Io did.
Yeah.
Io was tearing up Stardom while Kari was kind of freelancing, and that's part of the problem. She went to several different places and didn't build her brand anywhere. And I'm not bashing her. I mean, that's why Kota Ibushi is 38 years old and hasn't held the IWGP Heavyweight title yet. Well, that
All right,
Kenny
so
Omega.
okay, so are we?
I can't hear you over the static. Corey,
I'm here.
whatever you're by, walk away from it. Whatever you're standing next to, walk away from it.
So are we done with because I want to move on to Jordan.
I want to move on to Jordan Grace.
I want to say one thing before we go to I think we're going to our final thoughts yet.
No, go ahead because we're going to get to Jordan Grace real fast. We need to get to final thoughts.
Okay. Kari Sane, let me say this. Kari Sane deserves a lot. My point is, I love Kari Sane. I've always been a big fan of her since her days in Japan and also at the Mae Young Classic. She got a bright future ahead of her if they utilize her talent. But now they're teaming up her with Io Shirai. That means Io Shirai gonna always overshadow Kari Sane.
Not at all. Not at all, actually. Those two actually are like a face version of the Iconics. They actually feed off of each other very well. And
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
They're both very lovable. Together, they're cute, they're lovable, they're entertaining, they're great wrestlers, and I think they feed off of each other very well. Separately, yes.
You know of a tag team known as the Jumping Bomb Angels. You remember that tag team back in the day?
Yeah.
Actually, I
Ari
do.
Singh and Io Shirai remind me of the Jumping Bomb Angels. Those two Japanese
Hi, Matt.
girls, they come from all Japan. But let's move on, guys. I just thought about that tag team I remember back in the day, the Jumping Bomb Angels.
I say 0 to the odds they put the tag titles on Nia and Tamina. Ralph,
No.
Imai.
No.
Imai was here, Jamie, and yes, Mitt. Let's move on because we're actually a minute already over the hour and 15 mark.
I do apologize. I do apologize about that, Donovan.
No, it's not you. It's not you. I set the hour and 15 for you, because I know you don't like to be up real late.
Right. No, it's fine. It's the weekend, so I don't want to.
Yeah, but still, I know you don't. You've said yourself you don't. We had to start 30 minutes late, which is fine because we still had a good time to get out of here, but we're going over. So go ahead, James. You take the floor. You talk about Jordan Grace.
Okay, so Jordan Grace, and she's a tremendous wrestler. I mean, I'm like static.
Static.
Yeah, I don't know whose phone that is.
Tori's doing something.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, her and Ty Zachary had a title match. There's third Friday. Actually, it was yesterday, and Jordan had that match until the little bastard had to get involved, her husband, and then Killer Cross. So I want to know your guys' thoughts and see if she's going to ever Jordan is going to get the title at Rebellion. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Crazy.
I think Jordan Grace will get it. Some people like Taya, but Taya's doing other things. Jordan Grace is going to get it. And also, can I just say how nice her butt looks?
Oh yeah.
I like Jordan Grace.
I like Jordan Grace's butt too. And there's a great wrestler attached to that butt too.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, so
and that little punk you were talking about, you mean Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, Johnny whatever you want?
Jamie says Taya's too meh, so he's voting for Jordan. He'd love to see her win the title, he said.
Thank you, Jamie. Yep.
I agree. Go ahead, Tori. Close us out here unless James has something else so we can get to final thoughts.
Well, I'm just going to close it out by saying that little punk you just talking about is known as Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, whatever you call himself now.
Mundo, Johnny Survivor. That was a thing.
Well, anyway, Jordan, look, Taya Valkyrie, I see her work in Mexico. I see her work in Japan. I see her in Impact. I see her in Lucha Underground. She's great, but her time is up. That's pretty much all I'm going to say.
Yo, Taya, your time is up. We don't want to see you, you phony chump.
Her time is up. That's all I'm saying. Her time is almost up.
It's time for Jordan Delightful Butt Grace to be the champion.
Are we ready for the final thoughts, guys?
It's up to you, because if you have anything you want to say on Jordan Grace, do it now.
No. So Dominic, you can go start out.
My final thoughts are, I love doing this with you, James. It's women's wrestling, and there's so many different things to tackle that aren't company related. I mean, think about it. We're talking about history, Japanese, Ring of Honor, NWA, 90s, 80s, 70s. We're talking about just, retired wrestlers, legends. I mean, what more could you ask for in a show, man?
Exactly.
Tori, what's your final thought? Oh yeah, stay golden. Watch Wrestlution Watch WVPW Retro tomorrow. Stay golden. Tori.
Well, my final thoughts again. Again, I thank you for your thoughts and prayers, guys, for that. That was one of my final thoughts. Also, Terry Funk, we're with you, brother. We are with you, Mr. Funk. Also, my final thoughts is I enjoyed the show, guys. I really did. And James, you allowed me to be me, bro, and I thank you for that. Those are my final thoughts.
Okay, you're welcome, man. Okay, so my final thoughts is, everybody should, tell their loved ones that you love them, because you never know when, it, you know, when you see it again. So everybody just tell your loved ones that you love them. That you never know if you're gonna see the next day. So always do.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about the undead realm segment. I'm sorry about that, Jamie.
So we could talk about it right quick if you want.
Yeah.
We're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, I mean we're only going over 10 minutes. We'll just spend the next 3. We'll give it 3, 2.5. It was very well done, and Allie, obviously, after she got hit and bled out, she signed with AEW, so, it appears that Allie might be done with Impact.
I agree. I'd like to see what she.
Well, I can tell you what she did. Cherry Bomb showed up at Rise. Legendary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, Cherry Bomb's back.
Well, that's good. All right, so if Dorian don't have nothing
Probably.
to add to that.
As a matter of fact, I do. I actually enjoyed that.
They don't need Tampon Girl.
And I think Kira Hogan has a bright future over there as well.
And also a nice butt.
I think they utilize her right in Impact Wrestling.
James, what's your opinion? Nice butt? No? Yes? Maybe?
The segment. I enjoyed the segment. I kind of felt sorry for Allie. That was sexual hell, but that's just me. But I enjoyed the segment.
Well,
I kind of actually got into it. I really got into it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the women get.
Actually, was that Kevin Sullivan with the. I swear to God, I thought that was Kevin Sullivan.
That's what Jamie said too.
That's James Mitchell, he was also a former ECW guy.
Yeah, he used to be a Sinister Minister in ECW.
I'm confused because Kevin Sullivan, he's bald head. James Mitchell, he got a head full of hair.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Everybody don't got bald these days, bro. I'm sorry to say that.
But hey, James, quick question before we go.
I got to finish my final thoughts. So.
Well, quick question. Kira Hogan, nice butt, maybe a nice butt, or no nice butt?
Kira Hogan is fine as hell. So.
Okay, there you go. Straight up. All right,
I agree with that.
Go ahead, James.
But I like Fire in WoW. She reminds me of Kira in Impact. If y'all don't know who Fire is,
I know. I actually started watching, so I'm starting to learn a little bit more about women wrestling, bro. I'm learning as you can tell, I'm learning a little